about nutrition. So if you've been following the blogs and following the videos, you will know that right now and on Monday I talked about foods that can help support your body from fighting different diseases, and today I'm going to talk to you about foods that can contribute to cancer cell growth. I think a lot of us, most of us know that a healthy diet and exercise are good ways to prevent diseases or to stay as healthy as we possibly can. But when you are possibly facing the fact that you may have cancer or you're diagnosed with something, then it may become a little bit difficult and you might not be sure where to start. So some of the things that you're going to want to eliminate are the really obvious things like processed foods, and probably the number one food that you're going to want to eliminate right off the bat is processed meats. So that means things like hot dogs, y'all. Hot dogs, salami, sausages, some lunch meats that have all kinds of chemicals. All these things have all kinds of chemicals added to it that our bodies are not designed to fight off. So when our bodies are not designed to fight these kinds of things, it can cause cell mutation and possibly cancer. So I'm not saying that there's 100% proof that this one food is going to cause cancer, but what I'm saying is there are things that you can do nutritionally to help your body limit its risk or lower its risk of developing cancers by making sure that you take care of yourself and eating foods that actually act as an armor rather than something that's, think of it as, maybe you have a fence or something and you're trying to keep your dog in, or you're trying to keep bad things out, or maybe you get your kids in the backyard and you're trying to keep them inside the yard. And if there is a weak spot in that fence that something can get in or something can get out, then that would cause you a potential problem. So think of it that way when you're dealing with foods. Your immune system and your body, we're all exposed to toxins and carcinogens on a daily basis. This is just life. It's the way things are. And when you arm yourself and you make that fence and that barrier as strong as you possibly can, then you actually lower your risk of developing certain diseases, especially cancer. And that's what I'm talking about today. Yeah, Lola is a hot mess.
I'm not a hot mess.
She's not a hot mess. So today she loves getting on the videos and she loves seeing y'all and wants to say hi and be noisy and all of that. So a lot of them, they love me. I don't know. They want to be with me 24/7 and glued to me. So this is my crazy life. So thank y'all for jumping on here. It's nice to see everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday. I know a lot of kiddos started school today. Mine did. It's been great. I'm really looking forward to getting back to a routine. Let's see, Stacy. I don't have my glasses because my little nephew broke my glasses, so I've been going with one arm. Chrissy's oncologist suggested the Mediterranean diet. Yeah, I mean, obviously that's very, very beneficial, and we can talk about that. I can talk to y'all about that personally if you want to. If she needs any help, I'll be happy to help her with that. So yeah, Mediterranean diet for years has been touted as one of the healthiest types of diets because of the ingredients and the foods that it uses to keep your body in tip-top shape. So that's the goal, guys. I mean, we live in, I live in South Louisiana. Some of you don't. South Louisiana, we're known for our food. Food is love, and we like fried things, and we like things with a lot of gluten, and we like things with a lot of dairy. We like things that are not good for us. Lots of things with the red meat. Yeah, Abby. Things with the red meat. I mean, you know how I feel about chicken. It's just disgusting. So, I can tolerate red meat more than I can tolerate, chicken, but there are times when I can pretty much be vegan. It doesn't bother me at all. I don't have to have meat. So there are lots of things that you can do to prevent all of these problems, and you don't have to be a victim of circumstances. You know, we all, like I said, are exposed to toxins, carcinogens, pollution, exhaust fumes, toxic chemicals every single day. The things that you put on your body, you know, your skin is your largest organ. It absorbs all kinds of stuff that your immune system is supposed to be able to fight off. Well, it can, but then if you add all of these things in that contribute to breaking down that immunity, then your body has a harder time. So what you really need to do, what we all need to do as a society, is try our very best to make sure that we have nice, good nutrition, because when we don't, we are leaving that back door unlocked or leaving that hole in the fence for something unpleasant to come in there and cause a problem. So, you know, we probably all have some type of cancer cell somewhere in our body that's not doing anything. Most people, there have been studies showing that people that live past a certain age, they have cancer cells in our body. It's whether or not we are able to contain them with our immunity, or if we are able to succumb to that and see how those things can change. So, you know, I'm not saying that nutrition is 100% the answer for every single thing and that it can cure all diseases. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that help yourself, give yourself the best possible chance. Why not give yourself the best possible chance to fight off things? Maybe inevitable, maybe you have, you know, that family history and your risk is higher, but do everything that you possibly can to lower that risk, and that's going to include really good nutrition and exercise. So this is what I'm passionate about. This is why I became a nurse, to help as many people as I can. And I really feel like the reason that I have turned so much to health and wellness and fitness as a part of that is because it's rough sometimes when you're taking care of people and you're only thinking to yourself. Clinically, you know what the prognosis is, and you know maybe if that person wasn't a smoker for 42 years, that this could have possibly been prevented. So we don't know that, and we can't, you know, hindsight is 20/20, and you never can go back and say, well, I made these mistakes, and you know, probably shouldn't have eaten 15 hot dogs on that one day, and you know, but now you know, and knowledge is power, right? So once you know better, you do better. And the things we didn't know in the past, we have to just kind of look forward and treat it from here on out as, you know, now I'm aware of these things, and these are the steps that I'm going to take to make sure that I am healthy and my family is healthy and my kids are healthy, because you definitely don't want to be in a situation where you are completely out of control. And I know that people who have certain diseases, a lot of times you feel like you're out of control. So if you have a loved one who is dealing with this kind of thing, if you have a loved one that is going through this, you know, maybe I'm sure their oncologist has told them about nutrition, because most cancers are treated with a fantastic nutrition plan. So look at this little guy. Say, hey, everybody. No? Okay, you can just sit here. You don't have to talk. Let's see. Kelly says, you want to play with that? Make sure we've been using meat alternatives more, technically processed, still bad to eat. Meat like crumbles or veggie hot dogs. You know, it depends on the source. So I'm not a huge fan of soy, because soy can increase some problems in estrogen-based cancers and hormone-based cancers. So I'm not a huge fan of soy. I do like fermented soy. So if you're going to do a meat substitute, I would recommend tempeh. That is really good, or anything made from tempeh. Things that are fermented that way are actually okay to use as far as meat substitutes. So just just watch for chemicals, Kelly. You know, some things have chemicals in it and things that you can't pronounce. Cruz, you're very distracting, my love. Let's come sit on the floor and do this puzzle. Here. Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. Let's see, Teresa. Yes, you know, it's so hard to put in the research on top of it all, but let me tell you, this is why I'm here. So I am an RN. I have a degree in this. This is what my life's work is about, and I will do the research for you. Utilize the people that have the knowledge base, you know, of what we can do to try to make things better. Trust in your sources. Make sure that you are you know, doing your research as far as talking to your physicians, but also you want to gather some information from multiple different sources, and which is what I do when I write my blogs. I go back to my basic nursing knowledge, things I've learned in 20 years of being an RN, almost 20 years of being an RN. Probably just told my age there. You know, so you want to make sure that you do put that research in and find out what works best for you. So yes, thank you, Julie. I try, and I always have been a big believer in education, and that knowledge makes you a stronger person and makes you make better decisions. So when you don't know something, I'm the kind of person that likes to go and find the answers to it. If I don't know the answer, I will tell you I don't know the answer to that, but I probably know somebody that I can call and find out. I was an oncology nurse for a few years right when I got out of school, and we used to mix our own chemo, and it was a real eye-opening experience. You know, it was humbling to work with people going through that kind of stuff. So you know, not just cancer patients, but other things too. And I love being a nurse, and I'll never give that up, but my passion has become more nutrition and wellness geared. So thank you all for jumping on here. If you have questions, feel free to send me a message. If there's anything that I can do, like I said, if I don't know the answer, I will find the answer and help you any way that I possibly can. Knowledge, y'all, once you know better, doing better, you have to take that step yourself. I cannot come over to your house and rid your house of the Lucky Charms and stuff. So remember that all of these little treats and things, they add up. So every now and then it's okay. And I'm not just talking about obesity, guys. I'm not just talking about obesity. I'm talking about chemicals that are put in our foods. So the snacks and things that our kids like to eat, it builds up over time. It's like the whole deodorant scenario with aluminum. You know, we cook in Magnalite pots, and I love my Magnalite pot, but trying to, you know, reduce my time in cooking on that kind of thing, because the aluminum can add up in your system and cause problems, just like any other toxin can build up in your system. So arm yourself with some good antioxidants, build up your immunity so that you can get rid of some of those things. Abby, we're drinking cashew milk. Yeah, cashew milk. I am a firm believer that dairy milk is for baby cows, and humans are not supposed to be drinking dairy milk. And I feel like, number one, it's gross, and number two, it's not something that we are supposed to be ingesting. So we're the only species on the entire planet that drinks the milk of another species until adulthood and beyond. So it just seems rather silly to me. You know, human breast milk is for babies, and once they're done with the breast milk, then, you know, we eat real food and we get our nutrients from whole foods and fruits and vegetables. So cashew milk, yes, nut milks, coconut milk, almond milk, all of those kind of things. You can even make it yourself. There are simple recipes that you can Google and find what works for you. I haven't personally made it myself, but, you know, it's really hard to find a lot of these nut milks and non-dairy milk products that don't have added things in them. Some of the things are kind of controversial, where some people say that they're okay to use, and some other people say, well, you know, that can irritate your gut and you probably don't want to be, you know, doing that. So you'll have to kind of do your own research on that, on what you're willing to sacrifice and what you're willing to give. But I do think that the non-dairy milks are great. I found one made out of pea protein called Ripple the other day that I'm kind of trying out right now. And what else? There's a hemp milk made out of hemp seed. There was a hemp coconut blend that I found at Alexander's on Highland. Man, Alexander's on Highland is really stepping it up. It's like a mini Whole Foods, but then it still has regular stuff too. I really, really like the things that they have been putting out there, the healthy options, the non-dairy options, the vegan options, and the healthier things without added junk in it. They even have a pretty decent little supplement line there. They have been really, really impressive. So let's see, Stacy, I had to stop milk because I've gotten bad allergy to it. Yes, it's been making you sick for years and you didn't really, realize it. So many people don't realize what dairy, I didn't. And I wasn't a big milk drinker my whole life. I always thought it was gross, but I do like cheese. To this day, I love cheese, but I don't eat cheese because as I've gotten older and done more research, I realized that some of the things that was going on, I could link back to dairy and gluten. So basically inflammation kind of stuff. And a lot of people just say, God, this big bloated gut, that's just, I'm just old and fat. And it might not be that. And you may have inflammation in your gut based on the foods that you're eating. So, maybe you have a bad complexion and you think your bad complexion is related to genetics because your parents had, lots of breakouts, or it's hormonal, which it very likely could be hormonal, but a lot of it could be linked to diet. Maybe you're not Yes, I know, Abby. Oh my gosh. Vegan cheese. Okay, so my poor husband, he's so sweet. And so he knows that I'm trying to do all these things. And when he sees something that he knows I like, he will buy, he'll buy me all these different things. And it was a non-dairy cheese, and it had whey, or I think it was casein. It might have had casein in it. And I'm going, I can't eat this because it has the casein in it, which is a dairy derivative. So, he's so good to me, but and he didn't realize he was trying to do something sweet for me, but then you have to really detailed look at the label, and that doesn't always. So let's see, Teresa, much slimmer after cutting. Yes, definitely. And that's when I started, Teresa. When I was nursing, I would notice that the babies would have gas, colicky kind of symptoms, irritability. And I remember talking to the pediatrician. He's like, humans, we get gas when we eat things, and you really don't have to cut anything out of your diet. But then I was talking to a bunch of other moms, and all 4 of my kids.
Mommy, are you talking to my Teresa?
No, it's a different Teresa, Angel. So
my Teresa is much better.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, so anyway, I noticed that with the babies, they would be irritable or not really sleeping well, put them down, or kind of squirmy, or just like grouchy or irritated, or even the people would not be adults not be sleeping well, and that could be a sign of a dairy or a gluten intolerance. A friend of mine went to a conference, and this is obviously third-party information, but she told me that when she was there, they said, 75% of the population has a problem with gluten, and they just don't know it. Most people have I think that was the quote, 75%. But don't quote me on that. I haven't done my research on that. But most people do have a sensitivity to gluten, and they don't realize it. Yes, kids. But yes, the babies, they did really well. Once I cut that dairy out, and they were not getting, and they say it takes several weeks before you notice a change, they started to be happier and more content little babies, and not seem to have any kind of gas or problems, or be irritable or have weird bowel movements or anything like that. So that's when I started really eliminating the dairy, and every now and then I would still have a cheat. And I would notice it primarily in them first. So that was probably and all 4 of them had a dairy sensitivity. They weren't colicky babies; they were good babies. Dairy is also thought to increase mucus production. So maybe you think you have allergies. Maybe you think you have seasonal hay fever, or you're just prone to sinus infection. Maybe it's that cheese, though. Food food for thought. So bottom line is the blog tonight is going to be about foods that can contribute to the growth of cancer cells. So I'm not saying there's a food that's going to cause cancer, and I'm not saying that food is going to 100% heal cancer. I don't want to give any false hope out there, but what I'm saying is that there are things that you can do to manage and control your own health and your own lifestyle of you and your family members. So guys, you know, everybody wants what's best for their kids. So make sure that you are, you're up to date, you know, and it is hard. It's not easy. It's definitely not easy when people are ordering pizza and you really just want, every now and then a treat is okay. For me, it's not because of the underlying autoimmune things. But if you don't have any issues, every now and then a treat's okay. So you don't have to give it up all the time. But for the most part, you want to be like 80 to 90%. I prefer to be 90-10, where you are on point with your nutrition, so that when you do have something come in like a treat like that, slice of pizza or a big old slab of cheese or whatever it is that floats your boat, that your body can handle it. You might have a little discomfort, but you can bounce right back to your normal healthy self because you've built that immunity up. So there's a lot to be said for prevention. There's a lot to be said for nutrition. Don't forget about old Hippocrates with his wonderful quote from a bazillion years ago about food is your medicine, and use your medicine. Use food as your medicine. So I am here to serve, and if you have questions, if you have opinions, let me know. Send me a message. I love hearing from y'all. Thank you for all of the response that you've given me. I'm here to help educate. I hope that I can pass the knowledge and the things that I am learning as I go through this crazy life on to y'all. And I appreciate all of the support. Oh no, you just screwed it all up, Julie. Oh well, tomorrow's a new day, girl. It'll be okay. So, I mean, look, you're trying. Julie, you have had, your story is amazing. So, Julie, I've known Julie since high school, and she's never really the best eater. And sometimes that catches up with you, and I don't mean weight. I just mean, you know, you get addicted to things like sugar. She did my sugar detox group, and she had really, really good results and really was able to start liking and trying new foods that she never thought she would like before. Because when you're addicted to sugar and when you're addicted to carbs, foods taste different. Foods taste different to you, and you don't like certain things. You don't like certain things, and you don't know that you don't like them because it's almost like your body is tricked into believing that those things are yucky, because you can't taste the natural goodness and the natural sweetness in fruit and vegetables because you're addicted to sugar. It is like crack, and studies show that it lights up your brain more than cocaine lights up your brain. So cocaine, as Rick James says, is a hell of a drug, right?
And every stuff does that.
Yeah, it does. So sugar, it lights up your brain like it's a hell of a drug, man. So, and that's why we want it. We crave it because it does things to our brain, and we just have to have it. So,
every day.
Right. Well, tell them thank you for watching our video, and we hope you got some valuable
TV movie.
Yes, and we hope you got some wonderful information out of this. I believe that, because chocolate covered Twinkie lit it up. I believe you, girl. Yeah, and then you come down from a crash after that. So that's super interesting to me, how our bodies respond to things. All right, guys, I'm going to peace out of here, and I will post that blog in the comments of this video. You can check out the one about foods that help you build up your immunity against yucky diseases by checking that out at CoachAdrian.com. And if you have a sugar addiction, you can check out my last post about my sugar detox group that is going to be opening up tomorrow. So get on the list if you're not on the list. All right, guys, peace out. Tell them peace out. Bye.
Peace out. Bye.
Take care of yourself, because I love you and I want you to be healthy.
I want to press the button.
Press that one right there. Gentle.